how you doing? I'm doing a little bit better today. Well, not today, but right now. I should probably try to upgrade this, huh? Yeah, we'll do that. Put some money in the bank. I'm feeling a little bit better. I think I'm just a little bit overwhelmed with things right now. Anyway, why is this not working? What the hell? I can't put anything in the bank. Shows you how far my mind is gone right now. Start. This game never has my back. It's RNG. Alright, we're gonna stop at 10. We're gonna stop at 10. We're gonna stop there. Because I gotta save this money for the monk, because I fucked up his weapon earlier. I'm not really going to be able to cash on another not really going to be able to cash on this game for a while, barring any oil prints donations. I gotta make do with what I got. Which is fine. I probably need to do a bit more grinding on expert anyway. I can still clear expert in like under a minute, so it's not that bad, but it definitely set me off earlier. I'm really glad I was not streaming. But that's just kind of how shit like that works. You have other things in your life stressing you out, and then something stupid like a problem in a game can like really set you off. That's what happened this morning. That's why I felt really bad earlier. I just need some time off. I really do. This is from Mighty Final Fights, so probably the same guy doing the music. A Mighty Final Fight has good music. We're just gonna go through his fatigue fast today, because Might want to play something else tonight. Leaning towards yes. I've already been on this quite a bit today. The Mighty Final Fight isn't a bad game at all. It's just they put it out when the NES was on the way out. That's like the main problem with it. Okay, this thing is not shuffling at all. I'm getting really tired of that happening. I tell it to shuffle and it doesn't do it. Hold on. Can you, like, shuffle properly, please? And it takes forever to load. I wish I could actually buy a lot of this music, so I have to deal with YouTube. Okay, I told you to shuffle, to keep playing the same track over and over. Burn through his fatigue fast. It's from 03. It's when you go fight. You climb up to fight Poppy X. In the middle of the game, mid-game. You know, not a lot of people have nostalgia for that game. A lot of people didn't really play the Mega Man Zero games, but in recent years, people have kind of woken up to it, and they realize, like, that's basically the best Mega Man game out of the entire franchise. Like, it actually has a story worth a damn, and the gameplay is good too. Some of the best. It didn't really get that kind of appreciation when it came out, that's for sure. I had that game. Played it a lot in high school. I used to do speedruns. But now, like, when you see Mega Man tier lists, it's almost always at the top. The problem with the Mega Man Zero series is the first game sucks. It turned a lot of people off of it. The first game tried to change the formula too much. I'd argue it's worth playing for the story, because it does. The whole Mega Man Zero series story is actually pretty much the only good Mega Man story out there. It actually finishes too. The Mega Man X series infamously does not have an ending. It has a cliffhanger ending that they never resolved. Like the Zero series is a complete story. It's just now there's, you know, lots of retrospectives on the series and stuff. You can honestly just watch one of those for the first game, and then just play the other three. The first game is really weak. It's not a good game. They make you grind for the moveset, but the problem is you can do it in like the first couple minutes of gameplay, but you get out of the intro. That's what a lot of people do when they play, if they do decide to play that game again. You grind out the moveset at the beginning, because the game sucks to play without it. That's why in the other 3 games, they just give it to you. They just give it to you at the start. Like, yeah, that mechanic was trash. We're not gonna make you do that anymore. For good reason. Yeah, but they kept it going to 8, and in 8 they have that cliffhanger where Axel's like control jam gets messed up, and they carry him down the emulator, not emulator, but an elevator. The game just ends. They have not continued that yet. It's been like almost 20 years now. So the Mega Man Zero story having like an actual ending, it helped, of course. It's still a good story. Cutscenes are worth watching. The games are no slouch gameplay-wise either. They're like the best. Now, the first Mega Man Zeros, it's not easy to go back to. It was tolerable at best when it came out. But now with, you know, retrospectives online and stuff, honestly, just watch those. Watch the first game story and then play the other ones. 4 isn't as good as 3, but 4 is not a bad game either. It's just you can tell the Z-Knuckle mechanic is pretty dumb. It's like super gimmicky, doesn't really have much use. I think they like barely even use it in the speedrun. It's like supposed to be the big new thing in that game, but I remember barely using it. But you get the end of the story, so I mean that's not bad. Probably the only Mega Man game where it's worth watching the cutscenes. Like one of the select few where the story and the cutscenes are worth watching, and not just for meme potential. Like an actually legit good story. It ties up a lot of loose ends. Gives you closure. Mega Man ZX series had that really big bad cliffhanger too. That never got resolved because Indie Creates apparently has bad blood with Capcom. It's never been outright said, but they haven't done anything for them in like a decade, so I'm willing to bet something did happen. Maybe Capcom just got jealous and got salty that they outsourced those games. They outsourced all 6 of those games, and they're better than the Mega Man games that have come out. There's a cliffhanger at the end with what do they call it? The 3 fathers or whatever. Never got resolved. I barely remember it. It's not worth remembering. There's no, like, resolution. But yeah, they had a cliffhanger in that implied that there were going to be more games, but that didn't happen. Stuff like Girouette looking exactly like Zero. Nothing's done with that at all. It's like, can you like not do that? You gave Zero good closure in Zero 4. Then you put in some guy that looks exactly like him. It's like, why? But what makes it weirder is that the Biometal is supposed to be Zero. It's the consciousness in it, or Kingdom Hearts shit, like his soul is in it or whatever. Okay, well if the Biometal is actually Zero, then why is there a guy that looks exactly like him? Like one or the other. Probably would have been better to just have it to be like, okay, you got rebuilt. but it's been so long that nobody recognizes him or something. Kind of like what they did with Alucard and Aria of Sorrow. They had that kind of same angle. Like, Alucard was just kind of living as a normal person. Nobody outside of, like, the people involved with the Belmont bloodline knew that it was Alucard. Like, nope, it's just this guy that looks exactly like Zero. There's no explanation for it. He's just there. Okay. ZX games definitely weren't as good as the Zero games. I went a little overboard with the gimmicks. The second game is cool. The first game had it was like 0-1. It's like an open world. It was like an open world, so there weren't like linear levels to go through. The map was also really bad too. It was really easy to get lost in that game. The problem with ZX Advent is they made it more linear, but they had that stupid gimmick where you could transform into the bosses. But I don't think any of them were ever used. I don't think you ever really used any of them. I never used any of them except for the puzzles. They definitely had some creative puzzles, but the game kind of had the same problem as Beautiful Joe too. It's like, it's cool to have another playable character, but when you make them limited to just solving puzzles, it doesn't feel good. Especially, it's not so bad the first time, but the second time you play the game, or third or whatever, none of that stuff is really useful because you realize, like, okay, this character is trash for fighting. Which is probably like 75% of what you do in a Mega Man game is you fight things. The bosses were trash to control and they weren't really good for bossing either. So you pretty much just switched to them to solve a puzzle and then you went back to ZX. Actually, there's 3 games around that same time that had that problem. Beautiful Joe 2, ZX Advent, and then Portrait of Ruin. Charlotte was useless, pretty much for anything but casting spells and puzzles. Those were her only uses. There was never any reason to use her in an actual fight. It was just fighting facing enemies. It's like, it's a cool concept, but you can't really have a character that sucks at fighting. It's only good for puzzles in a game that's all about running around and killing stuff. It just doesn't work. They tried with Beautiful Joe 2 to, like, not have that happen, but it definitely did. Pretty much anybody who's played that game at a high level will tell you Sylvia is useless. The replay feature doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as anything Joe has, so unless you're trying to just handicap yourself, you never use your weapon for puzzles. Probably why most games don't really try to do that kind of thing anymore. It's too difficult. Grim Guardians, that new Inti-Trains game, looks like it's gonna try to do that kind of thing again. Like a Metroidvania with 2 playable characters at once. It looks pretty solid so far, but it definitely could still have those same trappings. It's a cool concept that doesn't actually work in practice. I never played that game. I think ZX Advent was the worst. Those bosses. The first one, I forget what his name was. He was decent. He was decent to use, but still paled in comparison to ZX. So you only used it when the game forced you to. Portrait of Ruin is a good game. It's just you kind of have to accept that, like, okay, this chick that's with me is only good for casting spells. She's not good for anything else. Once you realize that, it's not too bad. It's just kind of a half-baked mechanic. 8 in an action RPG. So it's like a prototype of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I honestly don't think that game will ever be as good as Destiny Remake. It's like Destiny Remake is objectively better than the original game in every way. It has essentially made it obsolete. And they didn't change anything about the story either, at least like nothing major. It really is just the same game but better. The problem with the 7 Remake is that they're changing the story and the gameplay and stuff, so... There's gonna be people that will play the old version until the end of time, but like... Tales of Destiny Remake really is just like, just play the remake. There's no reason to play the original. It's just a straight up better game. There's no downside. Odin Sphere Remake is like that too. Odin Sphere Remake just completely replaces the old one. It made the game so much better. It made it not just a game that looks pretty, it's like actually a solid game. And then if you want to play the crappy original version, they even included that. Like there's like nothing to complain about with that remake. They straight up just gave you something better. It's interesting that people don't talk about those games. They talk about remakes. Like, dude, those are some of the best video game remakes of all time, pretty much. Most remakes kind of don't render the old game obsolete. problem with that game is it's been so long since I played that game, but basically when they brought that game to America and Europe, they added like quality of life changes to it. I don't even remember what they were. It's been like 15 years since I played that game, but they didn't have that in the PSP version, so it actually was worse gameplay-wise in some ways. I wonder what the mobile version is like. There's a mobile version that's like 18 bucks. Kind of like wanted to buy it, but that game is such a drag to play through. You can't skip the cutscenes. That game has a great story, but did you know the speed run for that game? The intro is literally half an hour long. It's like 30 minutes. So if you reset in that game, it takes half an hour to get back to gameplay. But they go by the rules that there is like a little bit of gameplay in the intro. You fight that harpy in the beginning. So like most people, they sat through that. I had a friend that did that. Some people decide to play when you get to the first dungeon for speed runs. But yeah, the cutscenes are like agonizingly long. They're great stories, but it makes the game suck to play more than once. Like really, really long cutscenes you can't skip. And they're like really depressing stories too about the Einherjar and how fucked their lives were when they joined the party. It's like, you gotta watch depression porn every time you play that game, and you can't skip it. But that game was pretty unique that it had like more than just a handful of party members. They tried to give them, not just make them feel like there's people in your army that don't really matter or have any kind of personality or development. But somehow in development they didn't realize that watching all that again after you've beaten it, it's a real drag. You gotta watch all that again. That game is a good advocate for skippable cutscenes. You definitely should not skip them the first time you play, but go back and play that game, especially when you like know the full story. It sucks. It's ironic that Tri-Ace became the it became like the inspiration for letting you skip cutscenes. Because Star Ocean 3 was like one of the first JRPGs you could skip like pretty much every cutscene. And that game had that stupid trophy system, so it would be hell on earth to play. Try to get all those. You had to beat the game like multiple times to get those if you couldn't skip them. I wouldn't say they bogged down the game. It's a legit good story. It's just playing it more than once and spending a lot of time like watching a movie. It's a good movie, but it's like watching a martial arts movie. Watching it more than once. It's like, are you gonna watch that whole thing again? It probably has like a paper-thin plot and not the best acting. Like, the only thing about it that you're watching it for is the fight scenes, the cinematography, the choreography. Like, you're not watching it for the story. There aren't too many martial arts movies that are good outside of the fight scenes. think Ong Bak is a good example of that. That is an amazing movie, but the acting isn't great. Tony Jaa himself is like basically like a mute JRPG protagonist in that movie. Like, he can't act. At the time, he could not act. But that dude could do fucking crazy stunts, so it carried the whole movie. But you can definitely just watch clips of that movie on YouTube. Somehow they made three Ong Bak movies, and he like barely talks in any of them. I remember Ong Bak 3 being pretty bad. 2 had a pretty sick fight scene at the end, though. I remember he was doing like weapon switch combos and shit. The movie had like barely any dialogue. I heard he's in the new Monster Hunter movie. Imagine that movie is a train wreck. I can't see how it could be. I haven't seen the Raid 2 yet. I need to watch that movie. I heard that movie is basically just a beat 'em up, so it's right up my alley. We're done on him for today. I think I'll start another character really quick. I gotta get some more space on this guy. I'll have one of these too. Well, after I played that Loopmancer game, I came to the realization that some genres should just not have a story. That Loopmancer game, the problem with it was, it's supposed to be an action roguelike. You know, something you play multiple times, try to find good builds and have good runs and stuff, but the whole, like, hook of that game is, like, the roguelike stuff is not that interesting. You don't really get interesting builds, the weapons and stuff aren't interesting. The whole hook is supposed to be the story, but there's no good ending to the story at all. The hidden ending is basically just doesn't explain anything. And like, you know, this game would be better if it just did not have a story, if it was just like most action roguelikes, like bare bones story. I feel like they tried to focus on it too much, and they didn't really have good writers or anything. So it's just like, it's frustrating. That's like the first game that studio made. It's like really impressive, but it's a crappy roguelike. It really is. It's not good at all. It doesn't have the stuff that you want, but they really want you to care about the story, but then the story doesn't even have a satisfying ending, so you just kind of like, alright, this guy's life is fucked. He's stuck in this loop forever. And his family is all jacked up too. His wife is dead or whatever. Like, okay. You gotta give me more than that. The only thing you have in your game is story, and the story is not good. It's like the main thing to keep you playing. That story had better be Shakespearean. The problem is it's not. I saw the true ending for that, and I just like straight up uninstalled the game. I'm like, alright, this is what you're so proud of? Okay. Like, you should have like had minimal bare bones story and just focused on the gameplay. Clearly didn't have a good writer. There's gotta be some resolution for depression porn. You can't just be... the character you're playing as his life is just awful. There's no solution whatsoever. It just doesn't work. Especially when you want people to grind for the ending and it's not even a good one. Like... I wouldn't be surprised if they make another one. They're just like, yeah, we're just not gonna have a story this time. Like, yeah, that's probably wise. Maybe the person who wrote that Mancer was really depressed. I don't know. I can relate to that, but I don't know, man. not fun having a story that doesn't even have just a depression porn ending. It's like just doesn't have an ending at all. It's like they couldn't think of a way to like have the main character be happy, his wife and his daughter, but still have it work like a video game, because, you know, it has to be a roguelike. You have to be able to get back into the gameplay. Honestly, they should have done it like Skull the Hero Slayer. That game actually had a complete story, but they don't even really give you an explanation. It's like, alright, just go. Just go and play again. Didn't even bother. Definitely feels kind of rough in that game too, but it's better. I need to go back and play that. I might actually play some of that tonight after this fatigue bar. That just got a new patch, new update I want to try. Mischief Makers is also one of the only N64 games that runs at 60 FPS. There's a very small amount of N64 games that don't run at crap frame rate. That game actually does. There's actually, I think there's a good video on YouTube. It's interesting to go back and look at that. Pretty short video, I remember that much. There really aren't that many. I wish they would take out these walking quests. I want to play the game, not walk. Walking is fun in real life and it's good for you, but in a video game, I want to run and I want to play the game. I want to do this. There's so much of it. Fuck talking to these people, man. Shut up. Yes, blah blah blah, I don't care. I don't care. Please let me play the game again. Talking and talking and talking and talking, like, just let me play! The story's been going on for 17 years, like, I don't care. I had some mild interest in it when I started playing, but that was legit, like, 15 years ago, and it's still going. It's approaching One Piece levels of going on too long. Stop feeling yourself over it, like, just let me play the game. It's not needed. It's basically just Korean Dragon Ball anyway. Actually, that's literally what this game story is. It's just Korean DBZ. Kill one of the apostles and then the other one is stronger and you beat them. And then you fight another one. It's using the Dragon Ball Z shonen anime plot template. You can literally just keep it going forever. Project BBQ got cancelled. It's yet another Souls game. Project BBQ does not exist anymore in the form that they advertise it as. There's no gameplay. They basically said we're making the umpteenth Souls game. I hope by that they mean Neo and not FromSoft Souls, because I'm already like really checked out already. If that's the case. It's like Neo kind of Souls-like. That I can get behind that. But if it's gonna be the cool-ass characters in this game doing fat rolls, running around slowly, and being tired every 3 slashes, then I'm not interested. DNF Overkill looks pretty cool, but that game's been vaporware for a while too. No, Project BBQ was announced to be basically a different game. It's not going to be like this. It's not going to be a service game. I think they're trying to expand this franchise past MMOs. 'Cause, I mean, this game is so old. It looks old. They definitely have, quality of life-wise, game design-wise, it's definitely a modern game. They've made the game a lot better than how it used to be. The game is still archaic, but I mean, what MMO isn't in game's defense? But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it into more of a different kind of franchise, not just this game. I think they realize this game is kind of at the point where it's not going to bring in too many new people just because of how old it looks. That's what it's supposed to be, apparently. That's what I'm hearing it's supposed to be. Yeah, I think they're trying to expand the IP. I mean, they just released DNF Duel like 2 months ago, and that game is definitely really weird to play. It's kind of jank, and it's not as good as it should be. It doesn't have the things you would come to expect, but it's still cool that it exists. It's something that was needed. This game has really cool characters. They basically could just be put straight into a fighting game with like very little liberties need to be taken. Some of the other stuff, like the anime games and stuff, the franchise anime games, like they really have to take a lot of liberties to put them into a fighting game. This is basically like you don't really have to change that much. So I think it's cool that they're going to take these characters and stuff and try to do more with it than just this game. Well, this game still makes a ton of money, so don't really... They're not hurting for money. I think people that play Duel, a lot of people don't understand why the game was made. It's like, this game is... It's just one of the most successful games of all time, in terms of how much money it's made. It's just... It's not popular here. They have enough whales playing this game to keep it going. Like dolphins like me that buy packages to get gold. But like in Asia, this is one of the most popular games, and it predates gacha games. It predates stuff like Fortnite, Overwatch, Path of Exile, Diablo 3. A lot of like really popular games we take for granted. This game was around first. This game is a little bit younger than World of Warcraft, but it has the same kind of success where there's lots of clones of this game, but none of them are anywhere near as successful as this, so they don't last, which is the problem. The volumes, tracks have different volume levels. Overkill, they put some gameplay of that up like late last year. I don't think there's been anything since. That game looks pretty cool, but I don't envy the people making it because it's going to be compared to this, which this game has been around so long. And it has so much content. It doesn't matter how long they work on it. Like, it's just not going to have as much as this. It's going to be like this game was when it came out. It's like barely any content. It's an unavoidable comparison. I think the reason it's taking so long is they're trying to mitigate that as much as they can, but unless they have like some kind of fun, repeatable activity that you can do until they have more content ready. Then, it's going to be a lot like New Genesis. You can already tell that game will have New Genesis syndrome, where there's just not much to do. The difference is I know these guys won't be stupid enough to kill off this game just because the new one is out, which was the biggest mistake they made with New Genesis. New Genesis seems to be getting better slowly, but it still doesn't have much. They made the stupid decision to just kill off the old game immediately, like the day that it came out. they stopped all content completely, which incredibly backfired because people played New Genesis and ran out of stuff to do after like a couple sittings. They wanted to go back to the old game, but they put the old game in basically Diablo 3 maintenance mode, but worse. It's like they don't really update Diablo 3 anymore. They've done like some minor balance patches. They do the seasons, which have like fun little ways that you can kind of play the same content, like different themes and stuff. They don't even do that for they don't even do that with vanilla PSO2. It's just straight maintenance mode. It's worse than Diablo 3 in my opinion. Diablo 3 does get updates, it just doesn't get like new content. They don't add like new characters or maps or moves or anything. That game has more going on than vanilla. Yeah, this game and vanilla PSO2 are like my most played service games of all time. Wait, really? I didn't know that. You think with Immortal printing so much money they wouldn't bother updating the game anymore, but I think Overkill will be better than New Genesis because Neopal won't be stupid enough to kill off this game just because the new one is out. I think they'll try to have a better transition path. It's like, look, here's the shiny new game, but the old game is still going to get updated. Well, handling it better than New Genesis is pretty low bar. I can't believe the decision they made to just kill off the old game that was still making money, that had 10 years of content, to bring people over to a game that had like 2 days of content. What the fuck were they thinking? It's like Clown Shoes, just stupid. Could have added like new classes or like a new level cap or new photon arts or something to keep people playing, and then, if they still had time to game for the day, they could go on New Genesis for a little bit. Could have easily done that, but nope, just insta maintenance mode. Great idea. Honestly, the entire existence of global PSO2 is a train wreck. We're gonna speedrun through all the content in 8 months, so that the game is barely worth playing. That was the problem with them releasing global so late. Is they really did just do like a speedrun through all the content. The problem is there was so much power creep in the game. It's like, this stuff's not even worth grinding for. Like, they're gonna replace it in 2 months. Like, that stuff that you grinded for, like the 13 stars, was supposed to last for like at least a year or more. No, it lasted like 2 months, so you'd be stupid to spend money or play the game that much. It's like, terribly designed. This game wasn't intended. They obviously could have sped it up a little bit, but not like every other month everything gets power crept and then the game dies because the Japanese team decided to kill it off. Well, they were trying to speedrun up to being having parity with the Japanese version, but the problem with that is it's not intended to go through the content that quickly. You're not intended to grind for gear in PSO2, have it be replaced in a month. Like, there was no point in that game where that was a problem. It never was designed like that. When you did the grinding for endgame gear and that, you know it was going to last for basically that entire episode, which was at least a year or more. That was the whole point of it. Hey, we're going to power creep, but, you know, it's going to last for at least a year, so if you play the game every day, it's worth it. And there was new content to do with it as well, but then on global, it's pretty much just like grind for this stuff, and then you go on vacation for 2 weeks, and we've already put out the next episode, so all that shit you did the grinding for was pointless. See, that wasn't really their design intent. PSO2 is definitely not a perfect game at all, but I think the combat is unmatched. The combat is unmatched. The new Genesis is so dumbed down and it's just not fun to play. Yeah, and they fucked that up with New Genesis. They made the game worse in every way. Still not over it. I think I ever will be over it. I love that game to death, man. Played it non-stop for almost a decade, and they ruined it. Well, they didn't think so, so they dumbed it down more. Made it worse. Now you're stuck in animations all the time because it's a great design decision when you make the game open world and you have enemies that go out of their way to not want to fight you. No, we're not going to let you cancel out of animations. That makes too much sense. You're stuck in an animation. The enemy's on the other side of the screen and you're stuck there, flashing nothing. Great design. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing with that game. That's why. They don't know what they're doing. They forgot how to make a video game. Somehow, 10 years of experience making one of the best action service games on the market just evaporated overnight. Thanos came into their office just like... No, not Thanos, the Men in Black came in there, used the neuralizer and wiped their memories. So they don't know how to make a good action game anymore. That's what happened. Somebody in the development team saw an alien, so got to, Men in Black, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones came in and just wiped their memories. Now they're trying to make a service game like they've never done it before. That's my explanation. I can't think of any other reason why the game is so jacked. Says a lot that I'm went back to this instead of playing that. Because this is like my other like most played service game. I've played this game so much over the years. Ironically, this game has the opposite situation that New Genesis has. Basically, the director for this game, they brought him in a year or two ago, and he actually plays the fucking game. So he came in, and he fixed almost all the stupid stuff. There's definitely still some archaic, dumb stuff in this game, but he fixed, like, almost everything. It's like, that's what happens when you have somebody in charge that actually plays the fucking game. Like, I think it was something like, the story is, he was playing the game on his private account, and he got kicked out of a raid because he didn't have gear or something, and he, like, changed the way the raids work. Like, why couldn't that happen for New Genesis? Like, look, this game is fucked, I play this game, we need to fix it. The guy who's in charge of this game now is like what politicians should be. Like actually fix the problem, not just try to nickel and dime people and waste time and argue. Like, no, just actually do something. That's why I came back. I think this cap is really fun. I like the build variety and how we can get anything guaranteed if you play long enough. No more infinite RNG. I tried Tower of Fantasy. That game runs terribly on my phone. I don't know, the combat felt kind of janky, and I don't really like open world games. I like just stuff like this. Just go into an instance, beat the boss, and go back out. I like that gameplay loop a lot better. I'll try it though. Probably not tonight. It's already a little bit too late. Downloading the game and stuff take too long. We'll see. Yeah, it felt really janky. Why would you want a slow weapon over a fast one? I don't quite follow. Used to slow weapons always being awful in action games. Like 90% of the time they're bad. I think Monster Hunter does it really well. Monster Hunter is a cut above with making slow weapons not complete garbage. And most other games I played, they're trash. Not much. I've just been playing this. I'm about to sign off, though. Just give me a moment to switch games here. Done with that for tonight. Well, the problem with playing BASARA in English is the emulator is very unstable. It crashes constantly. And as much as BASARA is better than Koei Muso games, it doesn't have interim saves. So the game generally crashes right when you beat a level. So you lose everything. You can't like save your progress. If the game had interim saves like most Koei games do, then it would just be a minor nuisance. Uh, I don't recommend playing it right now, but the dev team doesn't really seem to want to care to fix it. So I played it for like 10 hours and it kept crashing and it was really starting to trigger me, so I stopped. So I love the game to death, but it's just not fun playing it when it crashes so much. And the game is not really designed to really recover from a crash. No, it has nothing to do with the English patch. The English patch has no bearing on the crash frequency. It's the emulator. The emulator just can't run the game well. It's very unreliable and unstable. I wouldn't recommend it. Although somebody in my community did send me an emulator version, he said that crashes less. I haven't gotten around to testing it yet, but I might try to do that later today actually, because I have a full weekend off. I might actually do that. But yeah, the sound cuts out, the game crashes, and it crashes before it saves. So I can't really call it functional. I mean, it's playable, but you're not going to have fun playing it. That's kind of the problem. You're not going to have fun playing it, which, you know, it is a video game, so if you're not having fun playing it, I don't think the game is really worth playing. That's kind of the issue. PS3 emulation, they focus on some stupid stuff. Like, PS3 was like the middle of the life of the PS3, the middle to the end of the lifespan of the PS3 was when we started getting more Japanese ports to PC. So, a decent chunk of the later released games have ports. But there's some stuff like that. Like, that's a very late PS3 game. Pretty much one of the last big ones. You know, you don't really have another way to play them. You can play the PS4 version. The PS4 version's fine. I think it's on sale right now, actually. They must be doing a funeral sale, because Kobayashi left the company today, apparently. So, there's not going to be another BASARA. Very, very low chance. But to be honest, it's been dead for a long time. The dream has been dead for ages because they haven't even ported the game to Switch. You can't in your right conscience say that they care about the franchise when they won't port it to Switch, when you can port like the most old-ass, easily accessible games like Resident Evil 4, which is on like 50 billion platforms and Skyrim and stuff, and it's still the best-selling version just because it's on the Switch. And they won't even do that with BASARA, so they haven't cared for a long time. It's just the announcement today was basically just the final nail in the coffin. Uh, I don't really think they would give a project like that to somebody else. It's possible, but they decided to make that shitty phone game that barely lasted a year, and then they haven't done any kind of Switch. But Switch can easily run those games. Uh, the Switch can easily run those games. Basara games already uh, have a lot of tricks to make the game run at 60 FPS, which is why even on the PS3, those games run so much better than almost any of the Koei games at that time. You know, Warriors Orochi 3 ran like shit. The One Piece games did. Dynasty Warriors 8, 7. Like, there's a reason why. I wish I could make a video about it. I don't have the capabilities of doing it, but one of the things they do in Basara is basically the reason why you can't turn the camera around fast is because nothing behind you is rendered. The only thing that's rendered is what's directly in front of you. They do a lot of really crazy stuff to make that game run at like 60 FPS on the Wii and everything. And then you could go and play like Samurai Warriors 3 on the Wii, or like most of the Koei PS3 Muso games, and it runs like way worse. They could easily get that to run on Switch. I have full confidence that they could. It's just they don't even care to do that, so it tells you that no one at the company really cares about it anymore. Uh, and it's been like that since the 15th anniversary, so it's just today still kind of stings because, like, the director's gone, so I mean, that kind of really does just kill things for real. Oh, hey, there's a Streets of Rage 4 mod out. I'm gonna go ahead and put some music on. I'm gonna go ahead and install that actually. Uh, Apparently they added like new moves to the game or something. I want to try that out. So give me a few minutes. I doubt it. I mean, this is Capcom of all things. They'll port Resident Evil 4 to, I don't know, your right fingernail if they can, but they won't do that with Basara. It just tells you no one cares anymore. We're well past the point of optimism. Like, realistically, the only thing anyone was really expecting at the 15th anniversary was a Switch port, but they didn't even do that. So it just tells you to not really get too excited. there's a mod that adds new moves, so I'm trying that right now. No, it's not the patch. It's not the patch, so don't get excited. There's no patch, but it's a fan mod. I'm gonna try it right now. It adds like new moves, so I'm installing it right now. No, the Streets of Rage 4 patch is still vaporware. It's been done for so long. I'm in the credits for beta testing the patch, and it's still not out. I'm in the credits on the mobile version. I had nothing to do with that version. Tell me if I did, I would have told them how jank that version of the game is, but I'm in the credits. You can find me in the credits right now. You buy that game and pull up the credits. You can see my real name in there. I'm in there. But that's for version 7 and version 8. It's still not out. No, this has nothing to do with that, so don't get too excited. Just trying this out really quick. It's just getting kind of late. I don't know if I feel like playing anything else tonight. Alright. I gotta find my install of the game. I don't know where it is. I have so many hard drives on here. Where is it? Alright, there we go. It's crazy how I'm in the credits, and I'm in the credits for the mobile version for some reason. I don't know why I am, but I'm in there. I have no idea why I am. It's interesting beating that game on mobile. On mobile the day it came out, and then like I'm just randomly in the credits. I'm like, all right, well then why is this version so bad? Like, what the fuck is wrong with it? Like, all right, so a couple characters got new moves. Axel, Blaze, actually all 5 of the base characters got a new move. So we're gonna try all those out right now. Yeah. Switch over here and try this out. Yeah, new Garo got greenlit. Pretty cool, I guess, but they should have waited. They had like nothing to show. Okay, let me pull up the text file here. I don't know exactly what the new moves are. Moment. Put this over on the second monitor. Alright.
Axel Stone.
Yes, but the way the mod works is it doesn't work that way. If you go into the training mode, the mods don't work. The game's not really designed to let you screw around with it like this, but somehow it's like the most moddable beat-em-up of all time, magically. I don't know how, but... What the hell? What's the other new move? Oh, that's sick!
Bring it on.
I wish that I could just play this with the regular enemies. Too annoying how fast they move. That's what I don't like about these mods. They just put all the annoying enemies in, like, one room. I just want to try the moves. I'll probably switch it myself, actually. Okay, so Cherry's got a new move as well.
I'm no dead.
Let's try that. Making a Murphy. Roid it out. Oh, the thing about that light side is there's certain things that can't be modded, that only the developers can do. I don't know, maybe they'll make official mod tools for this at some point, but there's certain things you can't change. This is fun. Alright, so let's go down the list. Let's try Adam. So Adam got now has a follow-up special, forward buffered at the end of a move. Flurry available regardless of loadouts. This move can only be used after most attacks. Can be extended with a jab input and cancelable. That sounds fun. Let's try it.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Trying to do it. It's not working. Was it just the Uzi punch? Yeah, but there's certain properties they can't change. The swapper doesn't allow for it. But this one is this version of the swapper is pretty big. I think it's just that. Alright. I'm not very good with Adam, so... Estelle got a lot of buffs. She's probably not so shit to use now. Police Tackle now has iframes for its entire duration. That basically fixes her. What did Shiva get? Increased damage on the axe kick. Let's try Shiva with this mod, and then I think I'll try Estelle. Doesn't seem like Max really got anything too interesting. Try the homeboy. Coolest character. The character I tested and made better. Let's try him. I'm a little biased, sorry. S rank on the modded difficulty. Not bad. Let's see. Max mostly got nerfed, so I don't really feel like playing as him. We did get some changes. But yeah, they can add armor to moves now. Let's try Estelle. Let's try Estelle.
Down on the ground.
Guess the police tackle is not shit now. Wonder if the knife is any good. The story in this game is the bad guys are playing music. They're playing music that makes everyone go crazy and fight each other. I'm not making that up. I actually know the writer of this game. He's a good friend of mine that I know in real life. He does the narrative for a lot of indie games like this. He told me they used a very truncated version of what he wrote. And if you played the other games, you probably have played some of the games that he's worked on. He did the plot for Katana Zero, is one of the bigger ones. Most recently, Young Souls. That game came out recently. A bunch of other games too. Let's try some of the other levels. I want to try him some more. I need to figure out how to use this new move. Let's try this.
Back in the fight.
So this is his new move. It's like straight up a dash cancel. And you can cancel it, so you can go like this. Does it have a hitbox? Oh, that's pretty sick. That looks cool.
Axel Stone. Back in the fight. Axel Stone.
Cherry Hunter.
So what is her new move again? Let's try her.
Blaze Fielding.
Seems like Rekkacan is not as good as it used to be. Kind of nerfed it a little bit too much. Let's just try her default blitz. Doesn't OTG. A little bit too much fun. That dive kick is really fun though. I'm not really good with her. I can't really showcase her too well. It actually did not change that much with Shiva. Actually gave him some buffs. The axe kick got more damage, which is good, because the Shinsho in the current patch is better than the axe kick, because you can do like crazy long ground combos with it, the back attack, and then cancel into it. It's cool that the axe kick has more use besides just being an OTG. So straight up worse defensive special. Let's try some of Shiva's alt moves.
I don't need weapons. I am the
Air
weapon.
Senret's can kind of doesn't really function the same way, so it'd be good to switch that out. I don't like Spirit Bomb. I think the Senret's can is way cooler. It's like a more broken move, but I just don't like using it. It's more fun. Other move. Hey, good night, man. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Hope you had fun tonight. I've had fun tonight. bad decision. Yo, this mod is fun. I'll play more of this later. This is fun. I don't really touch the mods too much because I don't like a lot of the changes, but this is legit fun. We might play more of this later. But I think I'm gonna get some rest. I've had a pretty stressful day. I should probably take it easy. I think I'm gonna play some of DFO offline, and then probably see you guys. Actually, I'm off. I don't have kitty sitting until Monday, so probably stream DFO, and then whatever the hell else I feel like. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. It's nice to have the company tonight. I've been through a lot lately, so I appreciate you guys. I should be back later today.